Hello, boys and girls. Our goal today is to solve math story problems about different snacks. But I wanted to introduce you to the change problem organizer. Some of you have seen this before, but if you are new to Mrs. Fuson's math class, then this is brand new for you. So in a change problem, this is probably the most familiar kind of addition or subtraction problem. And it's a story in which there's action. And what I mean by that is good mathematicians make pictures in their mind of their word problem, much the way that good readers make pictures in their mind when they're reading a story. In fact, I tell all of my students that if you aren't seeing a little movie in your head when you're reading a story or a word problem, then it's going to be much tougher for you. So one of the things that we are going to be doing as we begin this journey of problem solving with our change problems is we are going to really work on making a good movie in our head and seeing the story. Change problems are the only types of math problems for addition and subtraction where there's action. The other two types of problems do not have any action. So for this, we have a beginning, a middle, or the change, and our ending. Now, I put this organizer in the lesson for today in hopes that some of you have printers. If you don't have a printer, it's not a big deal. As we go, I'm going to teach you to draw your own organizers. And then as we head back into the building for a regular class, we will have access to those organizers again. It's just a way of taking the information from a problem and putting it in a visual way so that it's easier for us to understand. If I can get a little closer to this organizer, I will. There we go. So you can see the beginning, the change, and the ending. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a problem. And I'm going to kind of think it through out loud for you because I want you to hear what's going on in the story. I want you to hear the action. Are you ready? Jason had 7 animal crackers for snack. So I want you to picture in your head a boy. And I don't necessarily want you to picture the number of crackers he has, but I want you to see in front of him on his desk or his table, he's got some animal crackers for snack. Now, I don't know about you, but when I pictured Jason with his snack, I did not sit there in my head and individually count out the crackers. I just saw that he had some, okay? Now, I want you to also see Chelsea. Chelsea gave Jason 5 more animal crackers. And I want to know how many animal crackers does Jason have now? Now, in your head, you should have seen Jason with his animal crackers, but you should also see a little girl sitting around him, Chelsea. And again, we're not counting the number of crackers in our story in our heads. We're just seeing that she's got some more and that she's going to give him some of those. What was the action in the story? Well, in the story, Jason had some animal crackers and he got some more. So you should have actually seen in your head Chelsea pick up her animal crackers and give Jason some more. That was the action. And I want to know how many animal crackers does Jason have now? Now, the numbers I'm using for the moment are super easy, and that is on purpose. I don't want you worrying about the numbers. I don't want you to worry about anything really, because we're going to focus on a couple of things here. We're going to focus on filling out our organizer and using the touch points that we've been working on the last couple of days to help us arrive at an answer. So we're not worrying about great big numbers. I know that you use great big numbers in your classrooms, but for our purposes, we're going to keep our numbers small and we will work our way up to some larger numbers. So in order to solve this problem, I am just going to fill out what Jason was doing in the beginning how did his animal crackers change, and then how my story ends. So in the beginning of the story, Jason had 7 animal crackers. So I'm going to put that 7 in the beginning. Now, did his animal crackers change? In other words, was the action Jason getting more animal crackers, or did they go away? Absolutely, he got more. And that is an add to change. When I get more of anything, it's always add. And so I'm going to put that he got 5 more. Now the question says, how many animal crackers does he have now? And so that's our ending. That's our mystery number. We are looking for the end. Now, boys and girls, you might think that this is the end of our story. But when in our study of change problems, we're going to learn that just because a story has an add to change in it does not mean that it is an adding problem. So we are going to make a little strip diagram up here. And this is the first problem I'm going to model for you. So I hope you're not worried about drawing this first one. I should have specified that. When I finish modeling this, I'm going to get a sheet of paper and kind of walk you through the remaining problems. But for now, I hope you're just watching. Okay, on this strip organizer, it is comprised of a whole and the parts. So these two parts put together equal the whole. Do you see that? So we just have to go through our organizer and ask ourselves, was this all of the animal crackers or part of them? All of them are part of them. All of them are part of them. And we're going to put that in that organizer, and it's going to help us decide whether we are adding or subtracting to solve for the mystery number. So the 7 animal crackers that Jason had in the beginning of the story, was that all the crackers he had or part of the crackers? Well, in the story, Chelsea gave him more. So this is actually part of what he had. Now, the change, the 5 animal crackers that Chelsea gave him, were those all of the crackers or part of the crackers? Well, since he started the story with some crackers, we know that Chelsea's crackers she gave is also part, which means we are looking for the whole. Boys and girls, anytime you are looking for the whole in an either adding or subtracting story, it is always add. In fact, we have kind of a little jingle to help us remember that. The only time I add is when I'm looking for the whole. Feel free to say that with me. The only time I add is when I'm looking for the whole. So I'm going to take these 2 numbers and I'm going to add them together. Now remember, from our lesson, adding and subtracting with our touch points, we are going to say the biggest number and count up on the other number. So I've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jason now has 12 animal crackers. All right, for the rest of these stories, boys and girls, I want you to get a clean sheet of paper. In this case, I'm going to use a dry erase board. And we are going to do 3 more problems. Well, actually, we'll probably do 3 to 5 problems. Let's see how it goes. And so you're probably going to want to turn your paper long ways. Oops, sorry. I'll see if I can adjust my screen here to match my board. There we go. So I'm going to use this board or paper for you to help me solve the rest of these word problems today. All right, so remember, our organizers, we're going to have a beginning, so you can just draw a circle for the beginning. In fact, I'm going to make this a little bit larger. My box in the middle is my change, and the last circle at the end, of course, is our ending. So the organizer looks something like this. right, let's get to it. Oh, I almost forgot. We are definitely going to need our part whole for helping us decide whether to add or subtract to solve our problem. All right, boys and girls, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to hear the story and I want you to really picture it in your head. I want you to see that action in the story. Here we go. Maxwell had 7 baby carrots for his snack. So I want you to see Maxwell in your head. I want you to visualize those carrots on his desk or his table at home. His little sister didn't want to eat her carrots, so she gave Maxwell her 7 carrots. So you should also see Maxwell's little sister at home. You should see her physically giving him her carrots, which is an action, of course. And I want to know, how many baby carrots did Maxwell have for snack then? So on the organizer, at the beginning of this story, Maxwell had 7 baby carrots. So I'm going to put 7 in the beginning. Now, did Maxwell's carrots change? Yes, actually in the story, he got some more, which is an add to change. And we know his sister gave him 7. And so that goes in the change box there. And we are looking for how many carrots Maxwell had at the end of the story. So our mystery number goes at the end. Now the question is, the 7 carrots that Maxwell had at the beginning of the story, was that all the carrots or a part of the carrots? Well, since his sister gave him some more, we know that that was only part of the carrots. So we're going to put that in the first part box. The carrots that Maxwell's sister gave him, were those all of the carrots or part of the carrots? Well, since Maxwell had some carrots in the beginning of the story, his sister's carrots are also part of the carrots, which means we are looking for the total or the whole amount of carrots. And we've just learned that the only time I add is when I'm looking for the whole. So this is an adding pattern. So let's take our 7 and we're going to add 7 more. We're going to use our touch points. When I add, I touch the biggest number, say its name, and count up on the other number. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So Maxwell has 14 baby carrots. Alrighty, on to the next problem. How are you feeling about these, boys and girls? I sure hope that you are liking the stories. They may seem a little bit silly, but we are really just practicing that visualizing and really getting a good understanding of what a change problem actually is. All right, let's move on to the second story. Now this one's going to be just a little bit trickier than the first couple that we've done. Still going to be action, but I'm going to make a change. I want to see who's paying attention. Here's the story. Pedro is eating snack, and his mother put 18 peanuts in Pedro's lunchbox for him at snack time. So I want you to picture Pedro with his lunchbox. I want you to picture that he's got a bunch of peanuts. Now, Pedro wasn't very hungry, and he only ate 8 of his peanuts. So I want to know, how many peanuts did he have left in his lunchbox? So in the story, I can see Pedro with his peanuts, and I can see him eating some of those peanuts, which means, you know, if he's eating them, they're going away. And I want to know how many he's got left. Now, let's fill out our organizer. At the beginning of the story, Pedro had 18 peanuts. And since he ate some of the peanuts and they went away, that is a take from change, boys and girls. And so I'm going to use my subtraction symbol. And he only ate 8 of them. I am still looking for the end, right? So our mystery number is going to go at the end. Now here's a question. The 18 peanuts, that Pedro's mom put in his lunchbox? Were those all of the peanuts that he had or part of the peanuts? Well, in the story, he did not get more peanuts. So the 18 peanuts was the total amount of peanuts that Pedro had. The 8 peanuts that he ate for his snack is only part of the peanuts. And so the mystery number that we're looking for is the part of the peanuts that are left. Now, boys and girls, this kind of pattern where I'm looking for the part, it can be either part. The mystery number could be here, it could be here, is always going to be a subtraction problem. Because remember, the only time I add is when I'm looking for the whole, and we have already got a whole in this instance. So I'm going to start with 18, which is my whole. I'm going to subtract the part, and I'm going to find the missing part. When I subtract, I touch the first number, say its name, and count back on the other number. So 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. 10 is the answer I landed on, so it is my answer. The tricky part about subtraction with your touch points is being able to count back accurately. So if it helps you to write your numbers backwards from 20 all the way to 0 so that you don't skip a number for now, that's fine as well. All right, boys and girls, that was a little bit trickier. Still a bit on the easy side, but today's lesson wasn't really meant to be challenging. It was really meant for you to have some practice with some change problems. All right, let's do one more change problem, and that will wrap up our activity for today. And then when we meet again tomorrow, we will be looking at some guided work together and then some independent practice for you, which you will turn in to me for a grade. And I will also be monitoring your progress for your annual goals. Okay, let's do one more. I want you to close your eyes for a moment after you've gotten your organizer drawn. If you are still working on drawing that, please just press pause, finish drawing, and rejoin me as soon as you're ready. Okay, here we go. Maria had 14 granola bites. I want you to imagine Maria in your head. I want you to see that for her snack today, she has got some granola bites. Doesn't even matter. 14 is kind of a large number. She's got quite a few granola bites in front of her. She ate 6 of them. So I am seeing Maria in my head. I'm watching her eat some granola bites, but I notice that she's not eating all of them. So that when she finishes her 6, there are some left over. And the question wants to know, how many granola bites are left? So I'm going to fill out my organizer here. So in the beginning of the story, Maria had 14 granola bites. I'm going to write 14 in my organizer. Now her granola bites changed because she ate them. And whenever I eat something, it goes away, which is a subtraction story. And I'm going to put 6 because she ate 6. And the story wants to know how many she had at the end. So that's where my mystery number goes. Now, question, the 14 granola bites that Maria had at the beginning of the story, is that all she had or part of what she had? Well, in the story, since Maria did not get more granola bites, I know that the 14 at the beginning is all she had. The 6 granola bites that she ate were definitely part of the granola bites. And the granola bites at the end, which is a mystery, is also part. And so I'm looking at my organizer, add or subtract. Well, I know the only time I add is when I'm looking for the whole. In this case, I already have my whole, so I know that it is a subtraction pattern. So I'm going to start with the whole, and I'm going to subtract the part, and it's going to give me the remaining part. When I subtract, I touch the first number, say its name, and count back on the other number. 14 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And since I landed on the 8, 8 is my answer. Boys and girls, I want you to know how very proud I am of you. I want you to know that we are starting off a little bit easy, so I don't want you to think this is baby work or be discouraged. We are really just digging into what a change problem is today, what the organizer looks like, how very easy it is to draw, and I think probably the most important thing that we've talked about today is the value of really thinking about each story problem and visualizing it in your head like a movie. Because if you can see the story, then you can understand it. And understanding will help you fill out your organizer and you will be able to solve those problems. All right, hope you have a great day and I will see you tomorrow.